Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Auzubillahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Alhamdulillah nahmaduhu wa nasta'inuhu wa nastaghfiruhu wa nu'minu bihi wa natawakkalu alayhi wa na'udzu billahi min shururi anfusina wa min sayyiati a'malina man yahdihillahu fala mudilla lahu wa man yudlilhu fala hadiya lahu. ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أما بعد. So what actually we are going to do today is we are continuing to study Enneagram. This 3 volume, Gods Will Be Done, Volume 1, which is the traditional psychoethics and personality paradigm by Laleh Bakhtiar. So we will go into that book and I'll share my screen now and we will go into this place where we left before. This is the book. We will be basically touching base to finish the overview of Enneagram diagram. So last time we went up to page 10. And so there we were talking about 2 types of relationship for the trustee of nature as representative of God on earth to establish. So we human being, each of us is the trustee of God, and we have a trust agreement, the amana between God and us, as Allah said in his day of Alastu covenant. So on that day, we had a trusteeship with God, and that's what here she's saying that this particular 2 types of relationship for the trustee of nature as representative of God on earth to establish. First one is the relationship between the self and its creator guide. Second is the relationship between self and other fellow human beings. So now about the establishing relationship between self and its creator guide. And here she talks about 2 things, knowledge and action. As for us to build this relationship between creator guide, Yahadi, we needed to equip ourselves with knowledge. So, and then he's saying we needed to act on that knowledge. So one who submits to the will of God seeks knowledge of Tashri'i guidance and Takvini guidance. That's when divine assistance will come. She clearly said that without divine assistance, no work. Because that's what I said in my introduction, which we read every Jumu'ah. We are reminded by the Imam where we pray in Masjid. Said, "Faman yudrilho wala hadiyala." Whoever is misguided, nobody can guide them. Only Allah can guide us. And that's what the divine assistance. So to have that assistance, we need to have a relationship with Allah. And to have that relationship, we need to have knowledge. And knowledge, which is the marifa, man arafa, nafsuhu, arafa, rabbahu. That's why nafs is the self. So we need to know about self so that we know about Allah. Once we know about self, then we know about actions. So here in the actions, she's talking about tahara, purity, talking about prayer, and then talking about saum, fasting, and then tajkiya, the zakat, and then of course Hajj, and counseling to positive dispositions and preventing development of negative ones. Amar bil maruf, nahi anil munkar, and then jihad, which is jihad al-akbar. So those are the brief actions we have to take, and based on that, we of course know most of it because we are born in Muslim culture, so we know all those items. So I will not go very much depth into it. And now we'll go to the relationship between self and others. here Hadhrat Muhammad Sallam said, I was sent to complete the noble qualities of dispositions. So this is the hadith, and that's what we are sent, we are given Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam to complete the noble qualities of disposition. That's what we have to bring into our life, um, to actually, it says, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Quran says that you color your heart with my color. There is no other color better than my color. Sibghatullah, that is the term used by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The man of ahsana sibghatullah. So there is no more beautiful color than Allah. So that's what I know. And then here is talking about, by him in whose hand is my life, no one shall enter paradise except the one who has positive dispositions. This is the hadith again, and quoted by Al-Ghazali. And then God taught Muhammad Sallam all the fine qualities of dispositions, praiseworthy paths, reports about the first and last affairs, matters through which one achieves salvations and reward in future life, and happiness and reward in world to come. So that is the one. And then here I want us to read the figure 6, which is that page. We needed to understand, and among the qualities listed are 30 obligations that one who submits has towards another. So basically, a relationship between self and others is outlined in figure 6, which is the hadith of 30 obligations. So can I request Brother Rad to read that 30 obligations, so that we know what we are talking about? Here, basically, I will rotate this so that you can read it. Yeah?
Bismillah. A tradition of the Prophet. 30 obligations on all believers towards their brothers and sisters. Number 1, forgiving their mistakes. Number 2, being merciful to them when they are in a strange land. Number 3, guarding their secrets. Number 4, giving them a hand when about to fall. Number 5, accepting their apologies. Number 6, discouraging backbiting about them. Number 7, persisting and giving them good advice. Number 8, treasuring their friendship. Number 9, fulfilling their trusts. Number 10, visiting them when they are ill. Number 11, being with them at the time of their death. Number 12, accepting their invitation and their presence. Number 13, returning their favors in kind. Number 14, thanking them for their favors. Number 15, being grateful for their assistance. Number 16, protecting their honor and property. Number 17, helping them meet their needs. Number 18, making an effort to solve their problems. Number 19, guiding them to the things they have lost. Number 20, answering their greetings. Number 21, taking them at their word. Number 22, accepting their bestowals. Number 23, confirming them if they swear to something. 24, being kind and friendly towards them. Number 25, helping them when they are being unjust. Number 26, helping them when they are a victim of injustice. Number 27, refraining from feeling bored with them. Number 28, not forsaking them in times of trouble. 29, whatever good you like for them. And number 30, Whatever evil you dislike, dislike for them.
Many thanks, brother. That's wonderful. And now I'll go back to this, conclusion of this chapter, which is basically um, just to confirm this overview of this overall system which developed by Laleh Bakhtiar using the diagram of Enneagram, how we can purify our heart so that we can reflect the entire spiritual universe in us. And then, of course, we secure our place in the paradise or wherever you want to go, basically in the doom beyond paradise, if Allah allows us. Especially my goal is to do Hashar with our Sheikh Hadhrat Ibn al-Arabi. And here he's saying that knowledge is the thickest of veils which prevents the human being from seeing the real nature of things. So we want to see the real nature, and this is why we need the knowledge, and we needed to have the psychoethics and the science of ethics, which will develop um, our inner mirror, and the gift will nuzulat will happen, a special divine gift of consciousness, a gift arising out of divine spirit infused within the children of Adam. So that is what she's saying. And she's saying that the trusteeship, which includes completing the perfection of nature in its mode of operations. So that's the trusteeship we want to develop. And it's saying that learning to read the signs on the horizon. That's what we will be trying to learn, how to see the signs and read it within the self. So there will be signs shown to us in our journey on the horizon and also within ourselves. And that's what we needed to learn how to do that. So within a task undertaken by the only one who consciously submits to the will of God. So that is what we need to know, how consciously we submit to the will of God. So that's the one of the thing. And the trustee, to perform the trust, is saying that it should begin with knowledge of knowing self, awakening to the self as it really is, becoming conscious of self, including the development of the takvini guided consciousness and free will. So that's what we needed to do. So we conclude this overview chapter. And now I will go into the other diagram, which is basically this architecture. She has this three part. One is called topography, and that is called structure, then it's called dynamics. Topography is the geography or cosmology or architecture. She has this three-way dividing the our whole self. So it has a divine spirit, it has a preserved species, and preserved individual. So this three part of the whole universe, and then intellect, and then attraction to pleasure and repulsion of pain. This is what will happen in our journey. We will be drawn to pleasure, and we will need it to repulse our pain, because pain and pleasure is part of our learning, and that's what will happen. And we needed to have this cognitive development so that we can recognize it. Cognitive, so there is a two part. One is our behavior, another is what effect we will perceive. So that is the Dauk part, how we'll experience as we go along this path. And then she also confirmed that capable of consciousness, and then unconscious cannot be disciplined. And then she gave this diagram, which of course talk about that pre-consciousness. Yeah, what is that particular word? is that pre-conscious capable of discipline. So if we have a pre-consciousness, we will be capable of discipline. And the structure, this one, if you have time, Rad prepared himself to explain. Do you want to take this us around this structure, Rad?
I thought I would be coming on the next session of this.
Yeah, no,
But
that's true. But the structure is, as you know, how our structure is. Our body is based on all these elements: air, earth, and then, of course, fire, um, and then water. These four elements, and then associated with air and water is this moisture, and then water and earth is coldness, and then earth and fire is the dryness, and fire and air is the heat. So those things is the four humors. So that is our body. So, and if you go into, I think there was some discussion happening in the overall chat. They have these four humors and
yeah,
four colors, and those hot, wet, cold, dry. We will have those things. This is in our body. So blood is the red, and this cipher, yellow bile versus black bile, and then phlegm. So these are the four things and how they create us, our temperament. Because when hot and dry happens in our body become angry. Or when we get angry, body become hot and dry. And then when we become hot and wet, a joyous feeling. So we have to create all those things. We have to choice. We have to make our behavior, and the effect we will get is this kind of things. And then various personality develops in us. So we needed to understand choleric versus sanguine versus phlegmatic versus melancholic. So those things we needed to know. That's part of the structure. And and as you know, as a part of the structure is basically soma, which is jism, which is body, and psyche, which is mind, nafs, and then nous is the ruh, which is the soul. So those are the terminology used in Quran and in our subjects. So
can I
and
add
then
something as well?
Mm, mm,
Just can you go back to the
diagram.
plot doing the cold and dry? Like if you
Okay.
go up a bit. So when I was because on overview on page I think
Mm,
7 of the
mm.
book
Yes.
where we're reading from, she describes the hot and dry and whatever, and then I'm writing down I'm trying to write down when you were writing the season, so summer, spring, winter, fall, and then the actual emotions. And
Yes.
when I actually doing it, I came up with the weather system. So like cold and dry, I wrote it as fog.
Yeah,
Yeah,
fog
because
is a depressive scenario. So,
yeah,
so if
and
you
then
want, you can
hot.
add that because that is another option. Because I have taken it from the lecture of this, Hamza Yusuf,
Yeah.
and this Hakim, which posted by Mina, yeah,
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
in other group in our Usus group. So yes, you are right. Mm.
And then the next one was I have hot and wet, which is thunder, because in spring there is that transition of the April rain, you know, the rains or something like that. It is joy because there is like this ni'mah and barakah, the vegetation is getting whatever, and then it's like the lightning is just the sign of we
Yes,
are
yes.
entering the new kind of
Yeah,
season
in
or
the
something.
atmosphere, yes, because in the spring you will have all those, yeah, to bring, and then the cold. Sometime there is a vacuum happen because ocean is warming the water, and because water air becoming hot, it goes rise up, and there's become a vacuum. As a result, all the cold air rushes to the vacuum, and that's how that thunder
Yeah.
and all those things
Hot and
happen.
cold. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
So that
exactly.
happened to the atmosphere, and that happened to our body and mind as well. And so this is what we will be discussing when we will be discussing the that architecture I just showed about this Shamaraka's book, Cosmology and Architecture, Pre-Modern. So
Mm.
anyway, so that is the architecture. And as you see here, elements and their qualities, and then human soul, vegetable soul, animal soul, um, and then uh, perception versus motivation. And then, of course, she's talking about overconsciousness, which happens there outside the circle. And then we have consciousness, unconsciousness, pre-consciousness. So those things we reach when we are able to succeed in this area, right? So, and she uh, explained the dynamics, how body has a blood circulation, how various parts of the body, liver, heart, and brain, they interact with each other, just like you saw, as I mentioned, ocean versus mountain, how they play together to manage the wind around the earth. And then how the angels look after, how he bring the whole ocean into the sky. When you have a big cloud, dark cloud, it's nothing but another form of ocean. Ocean contains all the water, but with the heat, it brings the water onto the sky, and then it falls into the mountain, and because all the plant take it. So, and then how that plant kingdom in us um, is, which is the vegetal kingdom. Vegetal kingdom lives in liver, animal kingdom lives in the heart, and whereas brain is where all the kingdom of Elam. So that is the thing. The article posted by, I think, Shami in that other group. I think you all have seen. I commented on it, took the few lines out of it because that's what I found related to my lecture today. So anyway, the nervous and vital energy, natural energy, and then a habitual intellect and mental material intellect, actual intellect, how active intellect has a is at the center, but it's still it all encompass it. It has a control over all the parts, and that's what she talks about, and looks like it fits well with the other understanding, even though that article she quoted is a Shia knowledge, but it still fits in with the Unani or Ibn Sina, Ayurvedic natural medicine formula. That is the Sufi healing knowledge. So consciousness of self, consciousness and a conscience, which is our conscience, and then this is the one choice we can make. So this cognition system develop. So that's the structure we will be working with. Now I'll move into topography. Here she talks about all these things which we may explain how various things fit together. We did talk about it in our first session, so I will not go into this again. And here she's talk about its mode of operation, psychological levels, how disposition is linked to all this, and then functions linked to this. We already gone through this diagram and how most basic consciousness develops. So we will go into this, and this is the topography concept of self, and and that's when I want to bring in this diagram concept of self. So this is the concept of self, which basically a part of Islamic psychological model of soul. I don't know whether you have seen, I posted one page out of the book. It's called Islamic Psychological Model. There is a society called International Society of Islamic Psychology, which is actually based in London. and there were in Cambridge some research was done. There is a book written. I don't know whether you have read that book. There is a book written by Abdullah Rothman, and it says developing a model of Islamic psychology, and it has that diagram. So this is the other form of that diagram. As
Can you
you
show the
see,
book
he's
again because it's on Blur, the book. Can you show it again?
yeah, okay. That book is basically um, I'll post it because I thought
Okay,
you
good.
have looked into the diagram I sent.
Yeah.
The
We've seen
book's
this one.
name
Yeah, yeah,
was mentioned there.
yeah, yeah. We've seen it. Yeah.
Book's name is mentioned there. That diagram I circulated in the group, not last week, but 3 weeks ago. Yeah. So here, basically, I am just going through the self. I was saying topography of the self. So this is the topography of the self. So self doesn't live alone. Self is part of the universe. Okay. So that's why Ibn Arabi says, I posted the translation of Risala Barzakhiya, which I shared my translation, this particular Risala, which Ibn Arabi explained there that our construction, the body we have, it says that the rulings, ahkam, related to abode of the barzakh and the other transition to it. Barzakh is an independent realm situated between the world of earthly existence, dunya, and realms of the hereafter, akhirah. So dunya and akhirah. These are the two realms. Because when God created us, He's saying three domain. We have three. Our whole construction is called Tribhuvan in our Bengali or Sanskrit terminology. We call it Tribhuvan. Tribhuvan means three realm, and we call it Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is the Sayyid of, uh, though they call it Sayyidul Qawnain, but actually they mean dunya and akhirah. But there is another part between that, that is the barzakh, which is the middle world. And that middle world is where our ruh exists. This ruh, ruh is part of that, and ruh has its counterpart, which is the nafs, which is the self. And that self has a three component. This self, some component lives in the akhirah component, the circle of akhirah, and the other component, nafs al-ammara, is in this dunya component. In dunya component, there is a jinn. In akhirat component, there's angels. So two angels, which is writing our book, and then the third angel, which is the guardian angel, and I even shared the Quranic verse about it in our group chat. And that is the fitra. They carry the fitra in us. Fitratullah allazi fatara nasa alayha. I quoted that verse in our last lecture. So, and then the three part of the self, those three part, nafsul ammara, nafsul lawama, nafsul mutmainna. And the book I shared, Quranic psychology, I'll go into its outline. There, Laleh Bakhtiar explain more about this self, where consciousness, subconsciousness, our conscience is linked to all this self. Nafs means self. So that is the part I'll explain. But our nafs become polluted when negative traits enter into our heart, because this is the heart and it has doors. All those doors are controlled through the intellect, aql, and our awareness and consciousness. And that's how we do tahdhib al akhlaq, which is the of course our khuluq al-azim, which is the prophet, that khuluq al-azim we are trying to replicate, because he is uswatun hasana. He is the model for us, uswatun hasana. And that uswatul hasana tahallaku bi akhlaqillah, that akhlaq we bring through this tahzib tamuddun, right? So that's what we will be doing. And to do that, we needed to do this called Jihadul Akbar and Jihadul Nafs. And what we are doing Jihadul Nafs for? To purify the nafs. When we purify, then we stay in this domain more than this domain. But because we are at the moment when we are in the physical world, we cannot get out of this. But in the night we go there. This is the alam barzakh. We go there in our dream, and this is the part where our soul switch off all the thing in our five senses in this world, and then our soul goes back to Allah, and then it goes to the alame barzakh, and that's what Ibn Arabi calls vast earth, the ardun hakiki, and that vast earth where our soul goes. But if we can awaken our nafs, our heart, and purify, develop our consciousness through this jihad in nafs, jihad al-akbar, then we will be able to go there in awakened state. That's our try, our um, mujahida striving. We are trying to build an awareness so that we can go into barzakh in an awakened state, not in a sleeping state. We are going sleeping state. We are built into it, because even my little bird, which is my pet bird, I see that it goes to sleep. So its roux goes there, and as you know, I will show a diagram later on the architecture. So let me go into my other diagram, which is this. Um, okay, before this diagram, let me show this little relationship between this talk and the um, Enneagram study we are doing. So if you look at here, um, we briefly touched body, soul, spirit in the Enneagram, and then we said when we are working on, um, say, we are working on the spirit, it comes out of the body and it goes towards the spirit in that diagram I just shared. And then when we become, of course, going towards the spirit at the center. So body is at the center. This is this says the al-Jahir, but this is al-Batin, when body is going towards the spirit. And that is a terminology which I mentioned in this diagram I just shared. There is a terminology here which I forgot to mention. It says mm, spirit is corporealized and bodies are spiritualized. Will be our akhirat body of light. Here we have a body of elements, dunya, but in akhirah we will have body of light. We will have self. We will have this nafs with us, but the nafs will have all those senses. We will have pleasure. We will enjoy it, but we will be not bound like in our body. At the moment, we are stuck on this dense world. But when we go to that world, according to Ibn Arabi, we will have this particular transition. Our munshaat, our body construction will change. He's saying that tajassadul arwah wa tarawuh al ajsam. This is the terminology used by the sheikh, and that is what the spirit will be corporealized. At the moment, spirit is invisible, but in that world, spirit will be visible, body will be invisible. So that is the construct we'll had, and it's mentioned in that Risala Barzakhiyah. So this is what our own self, okay, and all this terminology still applies. Jisim versus Jasad. There is a two difference. Jisim is what we will have in this Barzakh world because it's a symbolic body. But Jasad is here physical body, which is this physical element, which is more dense and heavy. It says Sakalain, the Sakal, because Sakal means heavy. So this is what um, we are actually
I
stuck
just
in this
wanted to
world.
ask you, brother, because you know on the bottom it's very beautiful that you got the Soma, the Greek, which is just a مثلا. But the one I just want to understand. Sorry, these birds are a bit loud. The one I want to understand, you know, when you're saying psyche and nafs, because this mean like you know, because when we were regarding nafs, it's usually like we think of the ego or something, isn't it? Or so
Yeah, ego is part of our mind.
but then, yeah, is this the relations like so psyche, and then this is how we're getting into the dynamic of it, Jenny? I just wanted
This
you
is
to
the
explain more
ego is
about this
another
one.
name of Nafs al-Ammara. That is the ego is the terminology used by Freud. It's called idol. So Freud and Jungian philosophy, they use the word ego. This terminology 200 years before was not available to anyone. It's a Western terminology, but Nafs al-Ammara is another name in modern psychology called ego. Yeah. Anyway, so I was going back to that diagram related to this particular topography or geography. So I will be explaining this first because Ibn Arabi used this, is saying that letter noon has a dot. So letter noon has a dot. So this is the replication of letter noon. So it's an inverted world. This is the noon. As you see, this is where we are. We are Adam, not Adam. Adam, this is Ain, not Alif. So that Adam means without, which is non-being, which is non-existence, which is Maya, which is a Tajalli. I'll explain this. Actually, let me, before coming to this diagram, let's go to the other diagram because that will have um, mm, the more explanation of the five presences. So let me go into that first. In that way, you will see this. Um, so first thing you needed to understand is five divine presences is called Hadhrat al-ilahiyya al-Khamsa. First Hadhrat is the La Ta'ayyun. This is called Alam al-Lahut. This is where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala realized and decided to um, open his treasury. That is the Kanzun Makhfiyun, hidden treasure. And that's where he said, I decided to come out and wanted to know myself. I love to be known. That's why I created. And that's when from La Ta'ayyun, he created Ta'ayyun al-Awwal. This is the La Ta'ayyun, first Hadrat. And that is the Gaib al-Mutlaq. That is the Zat Pak Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ganiyun anil alameen. He is actually independent of alameen. That is the La Ta'ayyun Alam al-Lahut. But this Tajalli, which is the Nur Muhammadi, and that is the Alam al-Jabarut. That is what Akhirah we will be going there. That is the Barzakhul Kabir Alam al-Mahiya, Ayan al-Thabita, Aqal al-Awwal, Zawhar al-Awwal, Alam al-Arwah. That is where we had that covenant, the day of Alastu. That is what all those things are. And then Tazalli, third Hadhrat, which is the Alam al-Malakut. This is the place we go there. Alam al-Malakut in our Tayyun Sani. That is where Alam al-Misal is. That is where Alam al-Khayal is. That is where Barzakh al-Sagir is. That's where Arsh, Kursi, seven skies, spiritual seven skies, not physical one. Physical one is here, the one our camera can reach or our Durbin can reach. But everything we are seeing ourselves is just a shadow, tajalli. So everything is, visible world, visible universe, that is here. So I'll share this slide in our group. So that will, in that way, yeah, you don't have to take notes of it. So Ruhul Azam is Insan Kamil, which is the prophet. He is actually our Ruh or Ruh. Our Ruh is connected to his Ruh because Adam is our bodily fathers. Father, our body inherited from his body. Same way, our Ruh is inherited from Ruhul Azam. So our Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is the father Ruhani. Adam is father Jasadi, or mani Abun Jasadiyun, Abun Ruhaniyun. So that is what. So this is the four Hadrat, Alam al Shuhud, and then fifth Hadrat is the Insan al Kamil, Ruhul Azam, and I will share all this name as you see are various name. It is not Alam al Nasut is this human world, the visible world, which is this, we call it vegetal world, animal world, all those things. So I'll show that diagram from the architecture. Here is another brief higher world, intermediate world, lower world. And this is another diagram which Al-Faragani wrote, and it was quoted by Shittik. And as you see, entities, Sabita Ayan, and as you see here, manifest to God alone, manifest both to God and to others. And manifest to God alone is complete negation of entities, exclusive unity, alam al-ghaib, ghaib al-mutlaq, negation from outward existence, but not from knowledge, inclusive unity, that is the ta'ayyun al-awwal, and then non-composite world of spirits, and then the subtle world, which is the alam al-misal, and the gross world, which is this thaqil, corporeal bodies. And as you see, if you once you have this nature, perfect man, insan kamil, you can roam around anywhere. So that is what this diagram will take us to. So now I'll go back to the other diagram, the noon diagram. This is the noon diagram, which is from that book, as I said, Cosmology and Architecture of Pre-Modern. And so this noon, Adam, as you see here, it has 1, 2, 3, those four. Four is this Sakil dense world, but 2 is the Barzakh, and this is the world which is the Ujud, actual Ujud. But this is the projected Ujud, Adam, which is the reflection. Here he explained with another table, 7 states of being viewed from various perspectives. And he explained transcendental unity, divine solitude, divine uniqueness. He's talking about al-ahadiyya, al-wahadiyya, al-wahdaniyya, and alam al-arwah, world of spirits, world of similitude, alam al-misal, alam al-atsam. This is the world of bodies and the world of man. And this is the atsam versus ajsad. Here the alam al-insan. And as you see, a non-manifestation, non-determination to determination. So individualization happens here. And then non-being and to being. And as you see here, divine business, immutable essence, external essence, And then existence of becoming, pre-existence being. This is the formless, is form is here. And then it's the lahut, hahut, actually hahut. The other one I mentioned lahut is not lahut, it's the hahut actually. The one which is in this ahadiyya, that is the ta'ayyunul, la ta'ayyun is hahut. Sorry, it's my mistake what I said there. So this is the lahut, this is the jabarut, this is the malakut, this is the nasut, and the supernatural, metaphysical, and divine realities, cosmic realities. And here he given example of fire, water, earth, air, and then he explains the soul, intellect, nature, matter. Those. This is an Ibn Arabi diagram. And then this is also quoted by Brother Ali Hussein's book on that art of Ibn Arabi, where he discussed. So, and next one is the one wanted to share. Basically, as you see here, world of similitude, the Alam and Misal, this dark. You see there, dark. This is each circle is a sphere. So the earth is us. Earth is us with the material earth. And then around us is water. So just like earth has 2/3 water, our body has 2/3 water. And then we live on the breathing air. So around the earth is the air. And then ether is where all those elements mixed up, those 4 elements, that is on the ether, ethereal body. And then the sky of moon, the first sky. And this is not a physical universe. This is the spiritual universe we are showing you here. But as you see here, it's talking about world of Assam. This part is with Jisim. So basically from here onward, this is all Assam. This is all part of corporealization. So, and then Alam al-Misal is over here, and he's saying that this Arsha Kursi, these 2 items, wasiya kursiyuhu samawati wal ard, all samawat is this one, and the earth is this one, and that kursi encompasses, encompass. So all their field, we are is the sphere within the sphere. We are a sphere within the sphere. So if you imagine that we are in the ocean, where we are just a drop. And Ibn Arabi said that prophetic hadith, if you go to Sahara, big desert, and if you throw your ring, the size of the ring versus the entire Sahara is what this visible world is. Visible world is as small as ring. Your ring size is the visible world. And the entire Sahara, all those sand, whatever you can see, even with your camera and with your durbin, everything compared to your ring, the ring you put on your finger, um, this whole visible universe is just size of the ring. And that is the prophetic hadith. And I don't know whether you are familiar with that Arabic terminology, because in there Ibn Arabi used a very beautiful, no, or not Ibn Arabi, it's a prophet actually used that particular um, terminology, where he gave that example of ring, and that ring was mentioned by prophetic hadith. Do you remember that hadith?
Is this regarding
Where?
regarding Suleiman?
Yeah, he's saying that this particular hadith is this. He prophet used this hadith, hadith.com, HDIATH, hadith.com. You can find this hadith. You can search it. This Abu Dal al-Ghaffari quoted this hadith, and Ibn Hajar Asqalani compiled it. It's called Kahalkatin mulkatin fi arde falatin. This is the terminology he used. Ka halkatin mulkatin fi arde falatin. Okay? Ka halkatin mulkatin is basically mulka is the ilka. You throw your ring and that it become a mulka. Okay? So a thrown ring into the ardin fala. Ardin fala means the which is basically desert. So in a desert, if you throw your ring, that size of the ring is this your whole visible world. The rest is invisible world. So that is the terminology. And then Ibn Arabi talks about this sort of things. The Jawahir, which is the essence, divides the letters into four kinds: intellectual, fikriya, and then lafziya, the uttered, pronounced, the written, uh, rakumiya, and then numerical, adadiya. Okay, so that is how, and these letters, as you see, all this sound hot and dry, these are the letters. Earth, these are the letters. Air, these are the letters. So all the divine names, any of these letters in their names, or even in your name, you can identify which particular form you are born with. You just take your first name. Um, so in my case, Nurul Alam, so Noon, which is here you will find that particular letter, which is Noon, which is an earth component there. So anyway, and then here he talks about primordial versus presence. And here, as you see here, he talks about the divine presence encompasses us, and the presence of human vicegerency encompasses us. And then, of course, our body, which is the body and substance, man and spirit, and then his directions and the like, and his color characteristic, all these things within us. There's the self-supported and then self-supported, non-spatial, pure intellects. And then, so this is the discussion of the self, how each self is supported by various part, even accidents, and Jawahir and Arad. So those two terminology, accidents and the essence, is a philosophical terminology. So shadow is an accident of the actual body. When you stand in front of the sunlight, you see a shadow. The shadow is an example. So yeah, there is a particular description of those accidents and Jawahir essence. I can explain those in another session. Those are philosophical terminology. So anyway, this is the topography I wanted to touch base. Um, so hopefully you are able to have some idea what I wanted to cover. Do you have now questions? I'll move into questions now.
I just wanted to add, I want to add onto your Noor, Ustaz Noor. That's it. This
Yes.
there was one. Where did I write it? Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Ah, you know the ayah right in the beginning when you said sabgha, and it's like to do the coloring of Allah,
Oh, okay.
the same coloring of Allah. So we literally did this beautiful class with the Wasat community group, and there's a sister, she does this a Quran class. So
Oh, okay. Yes. Okay. That's
nearly
beautiful.
finished,
Yeah.
we've nearly finished Surah. I think we finished Surah Al-Baqarah now. I think, but
Okay.
it was based. I think it's in Surah Al-Baqarah. This ayah, I think,
Yes.
and
Zibgatullah. Yeah.
Subhanallah, it's like when we're thinking of color, we just think color, like it's like the color of my skin. But when we go to sabgha and the etymology of it, it's actually to die. Subhanallah. So it's as if it's like we are our ruh, no, our ruh is made white, like a white linen cloth, and then it's dipped into a dye that it has all of these other elements, you know, and it's like, you know, when they say we are cut from the same cloth, like me and you, we have a very similar the spirit kind of thing, and Mona as well. And you know, we're all from the same cut from the same fabric of time and space and from Allah, whatever. For the whole dying, subhanallah, it's like this is where the arwah of divinity, in a sense, where we are from the green cloth. Then there are others from the black cloth. Then there are others from the blue cloth. So we are made into certain tribes, and not tribes as we're from Pakistan and we're from Mozambique, and no, it's more of we are from nations of souls,
Yes,
subhanallah.
yes,
And you
Alhamdulillah.
reminded me of this in this
Yeah,
regard.
that is the verse 2, 138, Surah Baqarah, 138, Sibgatullah, Waman ahsanu min Allah sibgat, wa nahnu lahu abidun. Say, our life takes its hue from God, and who could give a better hue to life than God if we but truly worship Him? So if we worship Him, He give us the beautiful color, and that is the color we need. And yeah, excellent. Mona, you have a question?
I don't have a question actually, but what Raad was mentioning is really beautiful about the
Thank you.
clothes and dyeing.
Yeah, there is a chapter on the cloth in Ibn Arabi's. There is a book called AIG, an illustrated guide. Eric Winkel wrote that book, and it has this cloth um, as a Ibn Arabi used as a metaphor, and here's the 22 various theme he wrote in that book. It's called An Illustrated Guide of Ibn Arabi. This is the book, An Illustrated Guide of Ibn Arabi.
Mhm.
Sorry, it's actually a bit.
Illustrated Guide of Ibn Arabi.
Yeah, AIG. So, and in there, it has this cloth which is upon the entire cosmos, and then we are part of it. And so that cloth, just like bridge of life, you know, when we are talking, we are creating a pillar in the bridge or a particular fence or particular. So when you are doing salat, you're creating another bolt in the bridge. So the bridge, your life in this daytime, whatever you do, you're creating your bridge of life, which you will walk when you are going to meet ila liqa Allah, the liqa Allah. So before the liqa, you will walk on your own bridge. So bridge of life, and
Is
then
it
the
the
ocean of
same?
love, and the doors, and the barzakh, and into membrane. You know, the one I explained to you, you explained to me about the fetus, and then the divine command, meaning the chest, the Salma's house, and the cloth is there as well. Arc, forgetting, shadow play. So those are the various theme Ibn Arabi talked in his Futuhat. He prepared those 22 summary and gave examples. And yeah, I suggest you collect this book if you are interested.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I've written down the title. Thank you. So
Okay.
is the bridge you were just mentioning just now, is it the same as the Sirat?
Exactly. Yeah. Pulsirat.
It's a Sirat, okay.
Yeah. Ibn Arabi, it's called Bridge of Life. Say that whatever you are doing during the daytime
Yeah.
is going to Akhirah, and what you will do, some hints you will get during the day in your sleep. And if you go to Barzakh, in Barzakh you will see some of your things, or sometimes hints. So that's why sleep is linked to day, and the night is linked to day, and day is linked to Akhirah. So we are actually in the whole circle of life. Yeah.
So the bridge we are building in this life is That's
Yes.
same as
Whatever
the
we are
sirat
doing
that we will
is
watch.
becoming part of the bridge.
There's a sirat that will the
Exactly.
sirat
That is the
mentioned in the
sirat.
hadith. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay. The one
And
in Yawm al-Qiyamah.
if you want, I'll take a picture of that bridge of life and send to you. In that way, you can read what is the summary he collected from Futuhat, the bridge of life. He said that learn that bridge that you journey upon. God has stabilized your feet upon it so that you reach the garden. Is the bridge of a guidance that he configured for you in the abode of this world based on integrated deeds, visible and invisible. Whatever deeds we do, we are creating our bridge. In this abode, it has the same property as meaning. You see, no sense-based image is witnessed because it is beyond the dimensionality of this world. And that, so then he extends out a bridge to assist you on the day of arising for judgment. Physically sensed over the back of the hellfire, its first part in the halt and its last part flash against the gate of the garden, this bridge. And it said, you recognize as soon as you see it that it is of your design and your construction. That's what Ibn Arabi is saying. And you know that it was there in this world as an extended hand of assistance, a bridge over the back of the hellfire. That is your nature in your length and your width and your depth. Basically, it's us who making this.
Subhanallah.
Yeah. I'll
Brother,
send
can
you
you
that page I just
send
made.
that?
Yeah.
Yeah, can you send this one and the hadith about الحالتين المرخلتين في الأرض الفيلة? This one,
Oh,
the
okay.
hadith.
I'll send it to you. Yeah.
This would be perfect because I'm just got like when we were watching the lectures of Dr. Lala, and I
Mm,
just had the comparison of now that when people watch that one, and then people watch this, it's all supplemental and it's going deeper. I feel like she did it in a very like it's very technical and very mind blowing. It's very
yes.
overwhelming, and she's beautiful what she's done for us to
Mm,
come here and then
mm,
where you're incorporating, mashallah, the other documents,
mm,
especially the pictures of what Ibn Arabi was saying with this and this and whatever, and then the annotate because you even annotated the one which is the ruh with the
mm,
dunya and the
mm,
whatever.
mm,
And this is you annotated because the original one doesn't have the stuff and it doesn't have the translation, just a couple of writings in Arabic. For subhanallah, inshallah, like the people who are seeking the truth and knowledge, inshallah, they bless a lot, like they heal a lot of people because we are at an age where we need to heal. We are in a big catastrophe, big mental traumas that we need to heal ourselves and then heal the others, inshallah. But tabarakallah, like, thank you so much, Habibi. Like, I just
Yeah,
wanted
no,
to.
actually that's helping us because I am learning through it. Main objective is we grow together and I needed some companion and you raised hand. That's why at least you do not drop out. Let's other, they have their other commitment, but your commitment, I took it on board so that we can, and this particular focus prepare me. I read stuff and relate to it. That's why I posted those things. And also I didn't find these things before. So it's the niyat and intention bringing me to it. So this is what it's a collective learning.
Alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen.
Alhamdulillah.
Jazakumullah khair, Sayyidi. That's
Assalamu
beautiful.
alaikum wa rahmatullah. Yeah. Shukran. Jazilan.